Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the Eastern Border. Well, as you can see in the title, we're going to be talking about the one thing that actually matters at this point about Yevgeny Prigozhin and, how he apparently died. See, there's a saying in Russian that means that, you can only talk good about the dead, but the full statement goes that you can only talk the good about the dead or the truth. And truth is, Prigozhin is responsible for, well, literally an assassination attempt at my life, me being beaten up, me being harassed, me losing my marriage, and he's a fucker who's destroyed quite a lot of my life. So I feel honored to actually give you one of the most comprehensive looks at what actually happened. We were there on our Discord channel for many hours. Someone just about 8, slightly before 8 p.m. my Latvian time, messaged me, and I was up there for 4.5 hours talking, investigating all this stuff. And I already know all the headlines. They're going to pop up tomorrow. I managed to, spent in total about 75 euros in bribes to call my contacts and my own. And I just hope that, after my quite chaotic thing, which I recorded just so I would have something out, because I know people will listen to this and they will listen to me before they probably, check out other American or British or whatever, but Western media. It's good to put things in order that I know stuff to calm them down, because it was a bit crazy. Now, first things first. What happened and what we definitely know. I'll start with the simple fact. We actually don't exactly know, at least I'm not 100% sure that Prigozhin is dead. However, it doesn't matter at this point. Prigozhin is dead legally. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, for starters, because that's one of the options of what happened. What really happened, factologically, was that 2 planes left from Moscow to St. Petersburg. And in between, one of them crashed, and the other one flew back to Moscow and landed. The plane that crashed is the one that Prigozhin used. They both are very similar models. I don't remember, private jets, basically. One is model 600, the other is model 650. It doesn't matter, to be honest. One of them had been used to transport Prigozhin because precisely today is 2 months since the whole coup happened, after all. And one of them was the one that Prigozhin used to fly to Belarus. What we also note is that I am very certain that either Prigozhin's plane crashed down. There are 2 options. Number one, it's an anti-air missile system. 2 missiles of S-300 were reported, because there were bases nearby, by the way, on the place where it crashed. And 2, some sort of internal explosion. Both are equally valid. I know that the anti-air defenses worked and fired at something. That might be drones, because drones are now hitting Moscow every day. Might as well they hit Prigozhin's plane. It doesn't matter at this point, to be honest, to be exactly this exact, but I'm leaning towards the anti-air defenses because, they were fighting at the same time. And what happened was that, we also have eyewitnesses seeing how the plane was destroyed in the air. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't anything else. The plane crashed down by eyewitness and film accounts by, one of the sides, being destroyed. The plane was destroyed in the air as well. The other one, but then flew back. And then everyone, second plane, by the way, which landed, we never knew who came out of that plane. It just wasn't informed. And most of the propaganda newspapers also, and West also, they don't speak about the second plane. What's important is that, everyone started writing instantly that Prigozhin is dead. But however, I'll tell you why. It's a very unlikely option. He's 99% dead, okay? 99% dead. But if he isn't, I'll tell you also why this doesn't matter. The thing is, Prigozhin had been already, he liked using body doubles. If Putin's body doubles are an open secret, Prigozhin's body doubles weren't even a secret. They had fake passports on his name, and he often liked to trick things. He was a PR dude who did these conspiracy theories. And secondly, he had already been declared dead in a plane crash back in 2019, just in a situation kind of like that. Then turned out he had switched planes. He always did this. It was sneaky things. Now, theoretically, it could be possible that Prigozhin had orchestrated this. It's definitely not some Kremlin's plan. But I also know why this wasn't orchestrated definitely intentionally. Because I also called some people, and as far as I know, and you heard this here first, by the way, okay? I believe that this was an attempt of Ramzan Kadyrov and Chechens, with whom Prigozhin had been in conflict, to, get some revenge as well. Because Ramzan Kadyrov hasn't been on the nice side. His soldiers aren't the best ones. And yeah, I called some people. Like I said, I spent about 75 euros on bribes. Some people donated some money while I was doing all this. But if you can support the show, please do. This is the right time when you can do that. I managed to call some people, and yeah, I have some good sources, and they say that it's the doing of Chechens. Why? Because besides all the other dates, besides the Putsch anniversary and besides the Prigozhin's coup anniversary, second month, it's also, Ramzan Kadyrov's dad's birthday as well. Just a thing. And they hated each other. So what I think happened is that either Ramzan Kadyrov succeeded at killing Prigozhin, or he failed, but Prigozhin doesn't care. Again, both options are equally valid. Either way, Prigozhin either escaped and will never show his face again, and he's actually dead, like legally dead. One of his body doubles is dead, but he'll just run away because he's not that dumb, or he's actually dead. Either way, results is the same. The thing is that I believe that Ramzan Kadyrov managed to organize anti-air defenses or plant bombs. Might be both. Who knows? Doesn't matter. At any rate, it wasn't intentional sabotage or anything like that. Ramzan Kadyrov organized for Prigozhin to die and either killed Prigozhin or his body double. But if it's body double, then we will never see Prigozhin ever again, so it doesn't matter in the end. What matters is that it could be to please Putin. Ramzan Kadyrov has killed Boris Nemtsov. He has killed Anna Politkovskaya. Ramzan Kadyrov has a thing where Putin feels bad that Ramzan Kadyrov, to show his loyalty, he just kills some Putin's enemy. That's a tradition that he does. And Prigozhin, Putin called him a traitor, and since the KGB days, being a traitor is the number one thing that Putin never, ever forgives. Of course, propaganda Russian side will be just screaming about how this might be a Ukrainian act of terrorism or something, all sorts of nonsense. Look, I know from my reliable sources, Ramzan Kadyrov is tied to this mess, and Ramzan Kadyrov at least definitely 100% tried to kill Prigozhin, because he's also very dumb but doesn't really calculate the consequences, which we'll speak about later, and either succeeded or didn't. Again, doesn't matter, because if he didn't, hey, good for Prigozhin, he'll just run away and we'll never see him again. Now, what happened is that, obviously, everyone already thought, as the coup happened, if you listen to my episodes, that this won't end well anyways for Prigozhin. We all made jokes about how long until window, right? Made some bets too. Well, obviously, didn't expect anything else too. But there are consequences to this. Number one, and why, by the way, I think this is legit. Why I think I really got him. If you remember, like I said, I've been up and it's like 2:34 a.m. in the morning, and I've been up and I haven't slept for 2 nights, so I'm just gathering this to you. But in short, why I think this happened, why I think Prigozhin's legit dead, and all the theories about him faking it are just dumb. Number one, if you remember that when all this coup happened, Putin took some time, it was a massive chaos, no one knew how to react. But no, in this case, everything's super organized, super well done, everything's planned out, everyone's just acting like on paper, there's a criminal case. It's like super organized. The only thing we don't know is who was on the second plane. So I think this was definitely done by some, admission of the powers that be. And also, people seem to be really, really pissed off, and there are terrible consequences of this happening. And Ramzan Kadyrov is the only person dumb enough to follow through on whatever Putin's random whims are to do this. So, yeah. By the way, if someone else mentions Ramzan Kadyrov, you heard it here first, because there might be some interesting consequences of that as well. So what happens now is that Wagner Group and everyone else, they have a plan, and there were rumors that they're going somewhere from Belarus. They are, but not on the plane. The plane is totally unrelated to that thing. I don't know what they're going to do. They have commanders still. There is a meeting with Wagner Group commanders. Everyone who's like a Z correspondent person, they have changed their logos to Wagner Group logos. Instead of Russian logos, because Grey Zone, the most Wagner Group associated channel on Telegram, they basically stated that Prigozhin was killed by Russia's enemies. The first reaction to everyone was basically Putin had killed him. And no one really knows how. Either Putin, Ramzan Kadyrov by proxy through Putin, whatever. Putin wanted him dead. Putin hated him. Ramzan Kadyrov either acted on Putin's orders or, wanted to do it himself. Also, kind of doesn't matter. They're both not that smart. Again. But what happens now is that he was some sort of he wasn't a very educated man. He was a criminal and he followed all these prison laws and rules and everything. However, he had become some sort of national hero to these Club of Angry Patriots who despised him, but they understood his effectiveness to some degree, right? They didn't like him as much as, they weren't fans of him, especially since he, in the cool thing, told the truth about the war and everything and losses, but they kind of considered him a bit more competent than Putin. And this means that he had a lot of PR image there and among the soldiers. This is going to smash down the army. This is going to smash down the morale of the army. Secondly, I thought Prigozhin would be left alive for so long because, Putin wanted to show that you can make deals with him. Although you totally couldn't. But again, if this... If this basically, if anyone asks you, like, why can't we make peace deals with Putin? This is why. This is what he does. This is every literally deal you can ever make with Putin. You will lose. There is no deal, like I always said, there is only the one who's zero-sum game at all times. The one who scams, the one who's being scammed. Ta-da, magic, nothing. There is no common logic. I hope right now it's seen obviously clearly. And that ruins, obviously, his, other things. But, emotions took over, I think. I think Putin gave command and Ramzan Kadyrov did the usual to please the king. I think that's maybe ties. Or maybe Ramzan Kadyrov did it on random. Either way. Also, everyone in the West, obviously, no one's surprised that this could have happened. Me neither. I just expected it to be less flashy. But, this was kind of brutal and straight up. Just blast it with some S-300 missiles as we could all see. Now, what does this mean? What does this really mean? We haven't had any comments on this, but people have died again. And this has caused a lot of animosity because those guys in Wagner Group and a lot of organized crime units and a lot of units who also followed Girkin and maybe didn't like Putin that much. The people who didn't like Putin previously now, now Putin has lost all honor, basically, instantly, which is horrendous. Because if you remember, a month ago, Lukashenko said it is his guarantee that Prigozhin will be fine and safe. And Peskov, Putin's press secretary, also stated that it is upon the word of honor of the president that Prigozhin will be left alone. Now, again, just proves that Putin's word has no meaning or honor whatsoever. I do not believe in anything else. Prigozhin's master plan. Prigozhin was smart, not that smart again. So it's not, I think Putin has overdone things because this has moved from government acting as a government to government acting as literally showing who they are. This is how drug cartels run things, not countries. This is a private murder on the side. This is just insane. And many people admit that the observers, that is no point of pretending that Russia is a country anymore. I have been saying that Russia is basically, what would happen if a drug cartel took over a massive country with tons of natural resources, and this is what happens. They're just showing it in the open, and now everyone can see that. Morale is done, quite likely more coups. I think this will go in history as some sort of another time of troubles. There's a lot of people who now think Putin is a betrayer of the country. Prigozhin himself, by the way, was a complete asshole, right? I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying that this is such a chaos thing, and it's so dumb that only a senile asshole could do this. I think, by the way, Putin did this because Prigozhin posted his video from Africa. Because I think part of the deal could have been that Prigozhin was not allowed to be in the public sphere, post anything in the media, and he just did yesterday. And Surovikin was thrown away from his office as well, and I think Putin might have taken this personally, or Kadyrov, or something else. Internal struggles among mafia dons, basically. But yeah, I think this is where we can see times of troubles. Times of troubles truly existing and pushing on. Because if you had a regional kind of governor who were basically all told to start their own private military companies, just to deal with like the mobilized crisis, do the mobilization in a kind of a sneakier way. Yeah, if I was that, I would start, being worried because you're still a regional governor and you're dealing with like criminals there. You were just assigned to your region to steal and be corrupt. You're not assigned there to be killed while you're flying out, because this is a border point. See, Prigozhin, after all, was a member of internal circle. And Putin, if you have noticed, he never, ever, ever does anything to his friends. Shoigu has made insane amounts of mistakes and nothing has happened to him. There was always this unwritten rule that members of his own internal circle, they can do whatever. They can get away with it. They were like pushed away. They were punished by promoting them upwards. Become an ambassador to go somewhere else, whatever, doesn't matter. And now this is the first case when openly, publicly, brazenly, something like this happens. The internal order is done, and it's like it's no longer a country, and something has been changed. Something is weird. This is a kind of a watershed moment in history. Statue of Liberty in the sand, aliens coming from other countries, and I don't know what else Dan Carlin tells you. I try to throw in as many Dan Carlin cliches as I could. But, yeah. The point is that Utkin is dead, the military commander, Prigozhin is dead, but there are many people who are very angry at Putin. And this might go away in a while, but among people who, because of this recent awakening in Russian military forces, how they actually start, caring about, Putin being a total dick. They still are murderers, they want to win the war, but, they still hate Putin at this point. This is a massive blow to morale, and this is just, as Maxim Kalashnikov, my new nemesis, because Girkin's in prison, Prigozhin's dead, as he stated, still from my Club of Angry Patriots, that this is yet one step closer to time of troubles in Russia. And I tend to agree. I think this is the point where we can finally finish up the things and pretending that that's the real country. And oh boy, the weirdest part is that as this was happening, what people don't tell you, by the way, I think in the Western media, is that Putin was in Kursk, because it is also the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Kursk. And he was giving a speech and talking to people, and the moment when we finally got confirmation that Prigozhin's dead, then they launched fireworks in Kursk. And Putin himself urgently flew back to Moscow. It's like just adding a cherry on top, really. Just mockery of the highest degree. And to this point, organized crime won't like it, army won't like it, especially, not the mobilized. They hate Putin anyways, but I'm talking about the motivated guys. Shit's going to go down. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but tons of issues, and no one on their right mind is going to believe in anything that the war corps even say. Even the most famous war corps basically stated that this was a massive, massive mistake to anyone who did this. And now they're going to open up Ukrainian act of terrorism. No, that's bullshit. That is all bullshit. If Ukrainians or any Western agency did this, oh boy, great job. But they might as well, have killed Putin himself. It's insane. And if this somehow is some sort of magical plot by Prigozhin himself with 4D chess levels, well then I think Prigozhin's going to come out, and we'll see it very soon. Either way, either Prigozhin is dead, or if he's not, then Putin and Kadyrov will be very, very, very dead very soon, basically. One of them's done. There's no other way anymore at all. And this is going to throw a wrench there. It's going to be a bit of chaos. And Putin might think this doesn't matter, but if you remember, they sort of hired a bunch of Wagner Group soldiers in their own forces, in their own things. I mean, it's kind of stupid to dismantle Wagner Group, then absorb a bunch of their men who were still loyal to Prigozhin, who acted with him and who supported his ideas, and then to betray them and kill them openly. If there'll be some dissent, and that dissent is spreading around, interesting things might happen. Saying what exactly is going to happen, no clue. But this is one step closer to weirdness and, to the end of the war, to be honest, because who knows? I might go to sleep after this one and wake up in the morning and find out that, boom, all sorts of craziness has happened. If someone's telling you that they know exactly what happened and whatever, don't believe them. Anything undocumented should be always treated as a lie. Don't do sensationalist things. And if someone is writing, Russian media says, yeah, I read Russian. Please give sources, okay? This was just some bad journalism by some people. Meanwhile, Wagner groups, by the way, Wagner Center offices were lighted out, like in St. Petersburg as a cross. People were like coming out of this stuff. Everyone in Rostov-on-Don, by the way, next to the Ukrainian border where Prigozhin took over without a fight. Yeah, every silovik, every Rosgvardiets and every cop was like mobilized there like that, called out of holidays and also gathered there. This is a planned operation and things are weird. This is yet again another push to the same level of the coup itself. Except in a way, Putin has made a martyr. The dumbest thing he could do right now, by the way, is to either kill Girkin or let Girkin out of prison. Or Girkin might as well just die because of his illnesses. However, yeah. This thing allows Girkin to kind of take over and become another leader. Because if I was totally dumb, I'd kill Girkin right now. If I was very dumb, even dumber, I'd let Girkin out. Girkin's now a sore thumb. He has to remain in prison until everyone forgets about him because Prigozhin's dead. Everyone remembers about Girkin because those are like two most famous things where Putin has literally done bad things to people who support the war and everything. And yeah, it's not popular amongst the guys doing the fighting. At any rate, if someone tells you about acts of terrorism from Ukrainian side, if someone tells they totally know, like that Girkin, like how this went down, they don't know jack shit. I literally called people and I know how this is happening. There's a movement, there's chaos. Again, Wagner Group might or might not be planning some things. Of course, there's this info everywhere, as was Prigozhin's thing. But there was some mess about, and there's going to be a thing where they come together and talk, I suppose. We still don't know who was on the second plane and what happened there. We had a list on the first plane and everything. But, seems sort of weird. One thing though is the fact that, just to explain what kind of piece of shit Prigozhin was. Because, because of everything. That was the dumbest part because, those assholes, right? Those assholes chose like the worst fucking possible line pulled out of one of his earlier interviews to kind of show who Prigozhin was. And I'll quote that in full because that fucker deserves it. Quote, as the saying goes, it's better to die a hero than to live as a faggot. God damn it, guys, just take me down already. That's all. What is destined to happen cannot be avoided. Yeah, I know, prison culture in all its glory. This is what those fucks decide to put as a memorial thing for Prigozhin as the center of his thing. Another quote of his is that Wagner says, death is not the end, it's just the beginning of something else. We're all going to go to hell anyways, but at least we'll be the best ones in hell. Again, Prigozhin. Yeah, this kind of fucker. I would wish him to go to hell, but at least he knew where he was going definitely. Piece of trash. Let's just hope that at least, that at least he earns his stuff, but I don't know. Tabloids are going to explode again, whatever. But comprehensively, yep. Weirdly enough is that I still don't know why exactly and what's going to happen with Ramzan Kadyrov because this causes a lot of troubles. One thing that I do know, by the way, is that people close to Kremlin, which I hadn't noticed. By the way, Prigozhin's troll farms are totally dead with this, and no one knows what's going to happen. Already there was panic in the groups of widows of Wagner Group and everything, and it's all a bit weird. The thing is that a lot of people also stated that they sort of believe that it's okay, it's going to be fine. At least that's what Kremlin believes in, because apparently they state that apparently Prigozhin, as Putin and people around him and the other things, he was the hero of the moment, but he's nothing much, he's going to be fine. Then again, they've been saying it's going to be fine about all this war. Oh boy. It's a bit crazy. Don't believe anyone who doesn't give you sources. Please come join our Discord. There are links everywhere. Ask someone on Twitter that who's following me. And consider supporting the show, I suppose. Well, this is the most comprehensive coverage without all the useless things, which would be exactly the holes and stuff because we had like tons of memes and everything. But yeah, don't let people lie to you. And if you spot something, let me know. Again, thanks to everyone on the Discord. And consider becoming our patron. If you don't want to become our patron, we have a donate button on our podcast page. До свидания, товарищи. As always, remember, happiness is mandatory. Except for fucking Prigozhin now. Ай, сука, блядь, семя стеклом. Говнюк.